Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this module, we will be talking about fuel geology. You all know that we have three major fossil fuels that include coal, petroleum and natural gas. You also know that fuel is very important in the present era of industrialization to run our industries, for our transportation, for heating of our houses, etc., etc. So, we will be discussing in this module about different fossil fuels, their origin, their reserves, etc. So, the learning objectives of this module are to understand the processes of formation of fuels, importance and occurrence of non-renewable energy resources, as I told earlier, coal, petroleum and natural gas in Indian subcontinent, to understand the status of fossil fuel in Indian and global scenario, to quantify global energy demand and the future of non-renewable energy sources. So, this will be the main theme or objectives of this module. Let me know about non-renewable resources. You know, all the sources of energy present on this earth can be divided into two categories, renewable and non-renewable. Non-renewable resources are non-replenishable, these cannot be replenished or cannot be renewed. The buried combustible geological deposits of organic matter which had been compressed under the layers of rock in the earth and beneath the oceans for millions of years and termed as fossil fuel. The first man who introduced the theory of fossil fuel was Georgius Agricola. Fossil fuel are of tremendous importance in the existing scenario as they act as a feeding mechanism for all the power plants. You all know that our all power plants from which we get electricity, they run either on the coal or on the natural gas. These fossil fuels are needed for the transportation industry also, these are the lifeline of transportation industry. These are needed for our steel industry, for our cement industry and many other purposes. The fossil fuels are non-renewable resource of energy on geological time scale, but are renewable on geological time scale. Now, the question arises that how the formation of coal take place and what is the composition of coal. The word coal originate from the Anglo-Saxon word col, coal, which means charcoal. Coal is formed from plant remains that have been compacted, hardened, chemically altered and metamorphed by heat and pressure over geological time. Aggregates of minerals, the smallest particles, examples are vitrinite, fusinite, axinite, etc., constitute the coal. Indian coal is of subbituminous to bituminous quality, formed during the Carboniferous period of Paleozoic era, approximately 300 million years ago. Coal has remained the dominant fuel in India with approximately 54.5% of the total consumption. The Coal India Limited is a public sector entity, is the world's largest coal producer and produces about 80% of India's coal. In coal, carbon forms more than 50% by weight and more than 70% by volume. Other constituents of coal include mineral matter, usually silicate minerals such as clays, illite as well as carbonate mineral such as siderite and aragonite. Iron sulfide minerals such as pyrites are common constituent of coal. Now, let me come to the classification of coal. Depending on the amount and type of carbon it contains and the amount of heat it produces, coal has been divided into different categories. Let me discuss these category. The first category is anthracite coal. Anthracite coal is of highest quality, having 90% carbon content. Second class of coal is bituminous coal. Bituminous coal is modern quality coal, having 50 to 70% carbon content. And third category is the lignite coal. Lignite coal is poor quality coal, having 30% carbon content. This coal, this lignite, sometimes called as brown coal also. And fourth one is peat. So, the first stage of coal formation is peat. This is very low quality coal and having carbon content only 5 to 10%. So, we can say that coal, depending upon the carbon content, can be divided into 4 classes. One of them is anthracite, that is excellent quality, then bitumen, that is moderate quality, then lignite, that is of poor quality, and then peat, that is the first stage of coal formation. Now, let us have a look in this picture on the coal reserves of India. In this table, you will find that the coal reserves of India have been divided into 4 categories, that is category 1, category 2, category 3 and category 4. Gondwana coal, in the category 1, we have Gondwana coal, that is ranking high volatile bituminous A and above, and in India this is found at Jharia, Bokaro, Raniganj and North Karanpur coal fields. The category 2 coal, that is Gondwana coal, ranking high volatile bituminous A and below, and this type of coal is found in South Karanpura, Raniganj, Panchkanhan and Sohagpur coal fields. Then category 3 coal is low ranking Gondwana coal. This is found at Talcher, then Pranhita, Godavari Valley and Wardha Valley coal fields. Then category 4 coal is tertiary coal or lignite coal. This is found at Cambay, Bikaner, Nagaur area, Barmer area, Assam, Rankan area and Kaveri and Himalaya foothills basins. So, we can say through this table that coals can be divided, Indian coals can be divided into 4 categories depending upon the carbon content, category A, category 2 and category 3 and category 4, and this is based upon this bituminous coal, whether it is above the bituminous coal or below the bituminous coal or whether it is lignite. So, on this basis this classification or categories have been given. Let me have look on this map of India, and here the coal fields of India have been marked with black color. I will suggest my students, please make a list of different states of India where these coal fields are existing. In this figure, the gross geological coal resources as per 2014 are shown. In this map, red color indicates, that is about 47, that is indicated coal resources. Green color indicates inferred coal, that is 11%, and blue color indicates proved sources, that is about 42%. Let me have a look on the coal production in India, and this figure shows the annual coal production in India from 2006 to 2016. In this figure, you will find that coal production is continuously increasing. So, based upon this coal mining, we can say that use of coal is not going to decrease in the coming years. Rather, if we look at the pattern, this is continuously going to increase. You will also be knowing that Government of India is establishing a number of thermal power plants, that is coal based thermal power plants. So, to feed them, to have the fuel for those thermal power plants, we have to do more and more mining of the coal, and that is why this you can say coal use is going to increase in the coming years. Now, let me try to know that what is the global coal scenario. World coal production has increased by around 0.8%. Indonesia recorded the highest increment by 9.4%, followed by Australia at around 7.3%, with a decline in USA of 3.1%. Coal provides around 30% of global primary energy needs and generates over 40% of the world's electricity and is used in production of 70% of world's steel. Top coal producer in 2015 were China, then followed by USA, then India, then Australia, then Indonesia, then Russia, then South Africa and Germany. These were the top coal producer in 2015. Particularly, I will request to make this table for the thermal power plants. Let they take any 10 thermal power plants of India and let they write down that how much electricity is produced over there in megawatt and how much coal is used in those thermal power plants. I will request students also try to find out that which quality coal is used in different thermal power plants in India. This gives you a good idea of the utilization of coal in India. Now, let me come to the exploration of coal in India. Various important acts which are related to the coal are the Mine and Mineral Regulations and Development Act of 1957, amended in 1986 and 2002, the Coal Bearing Areas Acquisition and Development Act 1957, the Mineral Concession Rules 1960, the Coal Mines Nationalization Act 1973, the Coalries Control Order of 1945. These are the, you can say, some legislations which are applicable to India regarding coals. Now, the second important fossil fuel is petroleum. Petroleum, rock oil or crude oil, is a naturally occurring yellow to black liquid found in sedimentary geological formations beneath the earth surface. These are rich in organic matter, 0.5 to 2% by weight. Most oil and gas starts its life as microscopic plants and animals that live in the oceans. Formation of petroleum and natural gas. This figure shows the formation of petroleum and natural gas. On the left hand side, in the first picture, it is shown that the tiny sea plants and animals died and were buried in the ocean floor. Over time, they were covered by layers of silt and sand. Over millions of years, the remains were buried deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned them into oil and gas. And in the right hand side figure, it has been shown that today we drill down through layers of sand, silt and rock to reach the rock formation that contains oil and gas deposit. So, this picture shows the formation of petroleum and natural gas, also shows that how they are pumped out or how they are drilled from the rocks. Let us see the petroleum reserves or petroleum reservoirs in India. In India, reservoirs of petroleum are found in the belts of tertiary rocks of Assam, Gujarat, offshore regions of Bombay High, and in Kaveri and Godavari delta areas. Oil fields of Assam including Digboi, Nahor Katia, Moram, Rudrasagar and Lakwa oil fields. However, oil fields of Gujarat includes Ankleshwar, Cambi, Kalol and Navagam oil fields. Bombay High is the richest deposit of petroleum in the country. Now, let us have a look on the petroleum refineries in India. This figure shows different petroleum refineries in India. I will request the students to make a table of the different petroleum refineries and their refining capacity, so that they have a idea that how much oil is refined every year in India, rather every day in India. Now, let me come to the oil and natural gas exploration in India. Oil exploration in India began in 1867 when oil was struck at Makum near Margarita in Assam. However, exploitation and production was systematically started in 1899 with the formation of Assam Oil Company. The Oil and Natural Gas Commission, that is called as ONGC, was set up in 1955, was finally transferred into commission in 1956. ONGC is the Asia's largest and most active companies involved in the exploration and production of oil. Its headquarter is in Dehradun. Let me have a look on global petroleum scenario. World consumes 8 crore 36 lakhs 702.21 barrels of oil each day. We can say that huge amount of oil is consumed every day. As per report of 2005, during the past 10 years, proven reserves have risen by 27%, more than 350 million barrels. But the annual report of 2013 says Earth has nearly 1.688 trillion barrels of crude, which will last for 53 years at current rate of extraction. World top producer of petroleum in the 2016 were Saudi Arabia, Russia, United States, Iraq, China, Canada, Iran, UAE, Kuwait and Venezuela. Let me have a look on the world petroleum production since 1975 to 2015. This figure shows the petroleum production from 1973 to 2015 by different countries. You will find that among the maximum petroleum the maximum petroleum is produced by Saudi Arabia and Russia in the recent years, and in recent years the petroleum production from US has increased suddenly. I will suggest the student to find out the reasons, that what are the new resources from which petroleum production has been started by the USA in recent years. This figure shows the world petroleum reserve, and from this pie diagram you will find that about 56% of the petroleum reserves are found in the Middle East, about 16% of the petroleum reserves are in northern USA, and about 9% of the petroleum reserves are in Africa, about 8% of the petroleum resources are in Central and Southern America, and about 7% of petroleum reserves are in Eurasia. Asia and Oceania is having just 3% of the petroleum reserves. So, from this we can find that because India comes under Asia, so we have to import a lot of petroleum to meet our requirements, and Europe is having about 1% of the total petroleum reserves. So, they also are dependent on the other countries to fulfill their petroleum or fossil fuel needs. This figure shows the India's petroleum scenario. As in the previous diagram, we have seen that the total petroleum reserve of Asia are less than 3%. India is also one of the major country in Asia. So, from this table, this is clear to you that in India, this figure is showing oil production and oil import by India from 2010 to 2015. This dark blue color shows our own production, and this light blue color shows the oil which we have imported. So, this figure clearly indicate that in this span of 6 years, number one, our petroleum requirement is increasing. Secondly, this is also clear that we are increasing more and more petroleum from our resources, as well as we are importing more and more, means from the, you can say, other countries. And if you see any bar, you will find about 20 to 25% of petroleum is produced from our internal resources, and about 70 to 80% we import, means we are largely dependent on other countries to meet our petroleum demand. So, India is one of the largest importer of petroleum products in the world and ranks at 20th position in production of petroleum in the world, with 9,000 kilometer of crude oil pipelines. Now, let us have a look on the third fossil fuel, that is natural gas. Basically, two mechanisms are involved in the formation of natural gas. One is biogenic process and second one is thermogenic process. Biogenic gas is created by methanogenic organism in marshes, bogs, landfills and shallow sediment deep inside the earth. Thermogenic gas is created by buried organic matter. Most oils are produced at temperature between 60 degrees Celsius to 120 degree Celsius. This is also called as the oil window, and above this temperature petroleum is transferred into natural gas. Let me have look on the world's natural gas scenario. Natural gas is third prominent energy source, amounting to about 23% of global energy consumption. The world's natural gas reserves are estimated to 10,000 trillion cubic meter, out of which only about 6,186 trillion cubic meters are proven. Russia is the top producer of natural gas, followed by Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE. Natural gas scenario in India, means what is the scenario of natural gas in India? The production of natural gas in 2013-14 declined by 13% as compared to 2012 and 13. India has 15,000 kilometers long natural gas line at present, and an announcement is made to extend 15,000 kilometer more pipeline in 12th 5-year plan period. Natural gas has an added advantage over coal and petroleum, as it acts as a cleanest fuel, because when we burn natural gas, when we do combustion of natural gas, the product of this combustion process are carbon dioxide and water only. So, that is why this is called as a clean or cleanest fuel, because it produces less carbon dioxide emissions as compared to the coal and petroleum. It also acts as raw material for several common products like paints, fertilizers, antifreezes, dyes, photographic films, etc. This figure shows the natural gas pipeline in India. I will suggest the student, please prepare a write up about the natural gas pipelines of India. What is the plan and how government of India is going to increase the natural pipeline in the coming years. Now, let me have a look on the future of fossil fuels. We know very well that the fossil fuel reserves are limited, but the demand is very high and increasing day by day with the increase in population, with the increase in transportation, with the increase in urbanization and with the increase in industrialization. Demand for fossil fuels is increasing. So, because of this increasing demand, fossil fuels are going to end, and its formation take place, as we have discussed earlier, millions and millions of years. So, it is predicted that if we take our all present sources into our consideration, oils will be depleted in 42 years. If the new sources are explored, it may be extended to few more years. Similarly, natural gas, if we take all the present known sources into our consideration, that is going to exist for another 60 years, and coal is going to exist for up to 133 years. If we do not preserve these sources, this is certain that after a certain period of time these will be vanished from the earth. The future of fossil fuel is getting worse because the consumption is more than the production and availability. Reserve to production ratio will give numbers of years the supply will last, and this reserve to production ratio is calculated energy available in all known deposits and divided by the annual production of energy. This figure shows the global energy demand from 1990 to 2035. In this figure, nuclear, renewable, natural gas, coal and oil have been taken into consideration. You will find that our major dependency up to 84% in the past, and in recent years or in future this will be up to 80%. Based on this figure, we can conclude that in future also we will be largely depending on the fossil fuels to meet our energy requirements. Now, to summarize this module, in this module we have learnt the process of formation of coal, petroleum and natural gas. We have also learnt about importance and distribution of coal, petroleum and natural gas in Indian subcontinent. We have also learned Indian and global scenario of petroleum and natural gas. We have also learned about global energy demand and future of non-renewable energy sources, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas. I hope you enjoyed this module. Thank you.